Today I want to show you how to hyphenate a section of your wording in your manuscript, a paragraph or the whole book, or so just to make things look right when they're justified to the left and right margins, because there's nothing worse than great big gaps on one of your lines between words, just so that the words have stretched out. I say the spaces between the words have stretched out so far to reach either side, either margin, left and right, that there's just maybe half a dozen words when there could have been a dozen words. And it's bizarre how people have let that happen and published a book like that. When you actually see an ebook, that hyphenation is automatically done. So when you look along the right edge of your page in Kindle or whatever it is you're using, you will see, or likely see, lots of little hyphens all the way down one side. And that they're used to break up words, like adventure with a hyphen in the middle, when it doesn't really need a hyphen. It's just to make the lines more even, without big spaces between the words. And it is better on the eye, as it happens, than great big gaps. But at the same time, there can be too many hyphens. And I'm not a real fan of them, unless they have to be used, like self-publishing. You've got self-publishing. Now, that's fair enough. But in splitting up an ordinary word like the publishing in two to put a hyphen in it, I don't really like. So I've got a couple of lines to show you here. First of all, I want to show you what happens when we use automatic hyphenation. So if we're at the home screen, we go to Layout at the top there, and we look for this here which says hyphenation. We click the little arrow and we go automatic. Now instantly you've just watched how everything moves around, but see here, you've now got adventure with a little gap in it, and that's no good. It's got a little hyphen there splitting it up. It's basically a gap, and I don't really like that. But it can't be helped in some cases. Maybe even this case. We'll have a look in a minute. Down here, we've got observe. And again, that's got a hyphen in it, and it's really only one word. Detailed. Another hyphen. But this is all done because these lines are justified. So let's go to this top line. And there's quite big gaps in there. Not that big. I've seen them 3 times that size in books. And it's been sort of embarrassing. So there is gaps there. But adventure is quite a big word. So to squeeze that into there, onto that line, would be a real job. But let's try it. Okay, so if I copy all of this, highlight all of this, and I go to font. I'm at home here, and I go to font. I go to advanced. I click on kerning for fonts, and I check that that's a 12, which is what we're using here, a 12. It's just worth having a double check on that, because sometimes it has been known, although I've never seen it, I've been warned about it, that this could read 12 and you've actually picked 11 or 10 for your font. So just make sure they're both the same anyway, because it works everything off. So we've got 100% here. So we'll try to adjust that now to 90 and see what happens. That's quite a big jump. I'm thinking this is a big word and it might take a big jump, but let's just try that. Right, okay, so adventure has now jumped up onto the next line, but so has by. And that's the difference. That's how it does it. It compresses the words in a line. So let's go to it again. 94. Now all them big gaps have closed up, and it's been at the expense of shrinking all of these letters here. They look bigger, bolder compared to those. But if you're reading the book, you probably wouldn't even notice that. But still, what else could we do? Well, we'll go hit the back button and we can look at what we've actually wrote here. Why not venture into the unknown and enjoy natural surroundings on a wild camping adventure? Is there anything we can change in that sentence so it still reads, why not venture into the unknown and enjoy wild surroundings? Now I could put a comma in there and put wild camping and get rid of adventure altogether. So let me read that. Why not venture into the unknown and enjoy natural surroundings, wild camping? Now this one here has got some gaps in it compared to the rest. You might not be able to notice these like I can, but you will once you start writing. So these principles can change somewhat in different locations in countries around the world. Now, you know, okay, I don't want to change the way it reads, but this three-letter word here, I could easily squeeze this into the line there. So let's do that. I don't even really need to do the whole line because it's only 3 letters. Let's go halfway. You can play around with this and you before you know it, you'll have got the hang of it. But I'm just going to go for 98 on this. It doesn't need much. And sure enough, the can has jumped up onto the line above. The next line looks great, so that's fine. The one underneath is fine. And everything looks great there. But yeah, if you look here, this looks a bit weird actually. And that's because there's a big gap at the end. So I know that that's not justified. That's justified left. And we want it from left to right. So I must have altered that, messing about with it. So at least we know where we are, and we can always double check them all by going over it and making sure it's all justified. There is some gaps on this one here. So let's do this again. We'll try and pull that detailed up to there. Now it's quite a big word, and thankfully we've got quite a few gaps. And I don't really want to change any of the words in this one for this. And we'll go to font. I think we're going to have to go with something decent on this one. It's quite a big one. So I'm going to go with 96 and see how we get on. Kerning for fonts, 12, 12, and okay. Yeah, I pulled that up. And does it look okay? Yeah, it looks great. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed that.